And this version of the most muscular that Martin is doing, I think this is the best most muscular in the world. I think it's better than Nick Walker's. I think it's better than Hottie's. I think this most muscular is unbelievable. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over the Prague Pro results. Who won it? Gonna spoil it for you right now. Martin Fitzwater takes the victory, defeating Samson Dota, and this, in my opinion, was a pretty big upset. Samson came off the Olympia, disappointing showing for him, so many people were expecting him to come back bigger and better, and he did exactly that. But what was unexpected, really, was Martin came back so much better from the Olympia because Samson beat Martin at the Olympia. And even though Samson made improvements, Martin's improvements were out of this world. He was dialed to the bone. And when I watched prejudging, I'm like, you know what? I think Martin Fitzwater's got this, and sure enough, he did. So I'm going to be going over the posing, letting you know exactly what I think and why I think Martin won. Now, I believe the scorecards were 4-5, so this was a very close show, but I thought Martin had it, and clearly the majority of the judges did too. So I'm going to be going over the poses and letting you know exactly what I think.
Front double bicep.
Taking a look at the front double bicep, the first thing I notice is Martin's quads. They are bigger than Samson Dota's. You know, Samson, when he was at the Olympia, one of the things were his quads didn't look as big as they normally did, and I still don't think they look as big as normal here, but I do think they were improved. But Martin, the width, the thickness, his quads are massive, and looking at the waist, I think Martin actually in this shot here has a smaller waist, but Samson is a little bit wider in the shoulders, so they both have a very good taper, although I do think Martin, his lats are popping out more than Samson, so I'd say Martin takes a taper, and their biceps are very similar. I think the arm size overall, maybe Martin's are just a little bit stubby. Both got great chest thickness, both look pretty equally conditioned in this pose, while Samson does have the height advantage. Personally, for me, because of the better taper and the bigger quads, I would go Martin Fitzwater on this pose, but I can see how you would give it to Samson, but I would give it 1-0 Martin Fitzwater right now.
Front lat spread.
So from the legs, we already discussed this in the front double bicep. I think Martin is beating him. He's just got the bigger legs in this shot, but from in this pose, I think the width that Samson displays up top really shines through. I think their outer arms and shoulders and chest are all very comparable, but in this pose, Samson is better able than Martin to get those lats out. It looks like he has more of that X frame from, or V taper anyway, from the upper body, and I think he's able to get his lats out more. So I would personally go Samson on this pose, although I still think it's a toss-up pose because Martin has the advantage in the lower body, but overall the flow and the advantage in the upper body for Samson, I would go Samson to make it 1-1.
Side chest.
Okay, this pose for me is an extremely close pose. I think Samson shows in the upper body, I think Samson shows a little bit more thickness and mass in this pose, but I think Martin has a little bit more conditioning in the arms, delts, and the pec in the back there. I see his obliques a little bit more. So this pose to me could go either way. I can see great arguments for each guy. They both have great width up top. I think Samson's just edging him out in size a little bit, but I think Martin has better conditioning. So I'm going to go a 50-50 split on this one. I think this is a really close pose, and I could see you giving it to any guy here.
Back double bicep.
A weaker pose, in my opinion, for both of these guys, the back double bicep, but I still think Martin Fitzwater takes it. When we start from the lower body, right at the bottom anyway, I actually think Samson has the edge in the calf department. But when we go up to the hamstrings and the glutes, look at the striations of Martin Fitzwater's hamstrings. They're absolutely peeled. His glutes are peeled. Samson Dauda, again, I think he has a little bit more size from the rear here, especially the way he's posing it. He's posing it where he doesn't have a thigh gap, and I think that is amazing, but he doesn't have the shreds of Martin Fitzwater in the lower body, so I would give the lower body here to Martin. And in the upper body, I also think Martin's taking it. I think both of these guys need quite a bit more width in the lats. That is pretty, in my opinion anyway, that is Martin Fitzwater's one weakness. If Martin Fitzwater had more width to his lats, I think he could be the Mr. Olympia champion, but that's the one weakness I see on him anyway. I think it really kind of hurts him in the back double, the back lat spread, and the front lat spread. Samson Dauda, I think he needs more width and more thickness in this pose. I think Martin definitely edges him out on the thickness. His back seems to be popping more. Could be the way he's posing, maybe leaning back a little bit more. I think the arms and shoulders are a little bit similar, although I think Martin actually seems to have bigger shoulders in this pose, but I'd give the overall arms to Samson. So while I do think it's a close pose, I would give it to Martin for the shreds in the lower body and that back thickness. But if you like the size of Samson in the lower body, I can see you giving it to him there. I still think it could be a toss-up pose, but personally going Martin. So I'm going to score it 2-1 for Martin because the side chest, I think I see it as a tie. So 2-1 Martin for me. Back lat spread, and this is where I think Martin Fitzwater, he needs more lat width. This is his one weakness, is the width of the lats. Now Samson also I think needs a little more width to his lats, but I think his wider clavicles kind of make up for it, so he has a little bit of a better V taper here. So personally I would give this pose to Samson. I think the lower body, it's close because I think Martin's got better shreds, but Samson's got more size, so I personally think it's kind of a tie down there. But up top, I think Samson does take this. So while I do think it is a toss-up pose and it's definitely very close because Martin's more conditioned, I would have to go 2-2 to tie it up right now.
Side tricep.
Again, I think this is a close pose, but for me, I like Martin Fitzwater. I like the conditioning in the upper body. I just think he's leaner up top. He's got that, the back pec is striated. I think he's got more conditioning in his midsection, and I actually think his tricep look and shoulder looks bigger. Maybe it's the way he's posing. I think the side leg, Samson's got maybe a little bit more size there overall when you compare it to his height, but for me, I would go Martin again. Now, if you like the size of Samson, can see that again, but I would go 3-2 for Martin. And this ab and thigh shot for Martin, I think, is one of the best in the world. Now, he doesn't have the craziest, most aesthetic abs ever. He's got a little bit of a split in there, but I think he more than makes up for it with crazy, I would say the best quads in the world. Look at the feathering on them, the size, the thickness, they're absolutely massive. Samson Dauda, to me, ab and thigh is a weaker pose for him. I think he lacks the conditioning in the midsection. He's also got a little bit of that ab split, and normally the quads are a huge strength, but for me, Martin just beats him there, and he's got more conditioning. I give this pose to Martin.
Your favorite most muscular.
A great pose for both of these guys, but I'm going Martin Fitzwater. Just look at the detail, the striations in the chest and the quads. He is so much leaner than Samson in this shot, especially in the legs. And the most muscular is still a good shot for Samson because of the size, but Martin Fitzwater, the deep cuts in the chest are unfreaking real. The feathering on the quads, the size, and this version of the most muscular that Martin is doing, I think this is the best most muscular in the world. I think it's better than Nick Walker's. I think it's better than Hottie's. I think this most muscular is unbelievable, and I do definitely think there are arguments for Hottie and Nick Walker's most muscular, but for me, this is the best in the world. Samson, he's got the fullness, the roundness, but just look at the chest conditioning and the quad conditioning in particular. It's really not even close, and in the most muscular, you're trying to see who has the most muscularity, so you want to see that definition. Martin Fitzwater has it in spades, so 5-2 Martin. Now, I know I also said the side chest was a tie, so I didn't score it. So I guess maybe you could score this 6-3, even though there are only 8 poses. But I think Martin Fitzwater did enough to definitely beat Samson Dota. His improvements were unreal. And who knows, maybe if he brought this version to the Olympia stage, he could have beat Derek Lunsford. Personally, I think he would have been in the top 3. I think he would have not, and this may be a hot take, I think he would have knocked Andrew Jacked off of that 3rd place, and possibly even Hottie for 2nd. I don't think he would have beat Derek just because he doesn't have that lat width. If he had Derek Lunsford's back, I think it's freaking game over. But unfortunately, he doesn't. So, though that, in my opinion, that lat width is the one. I think he has the thickness in the back. He just needs a little bit more width. If he can do that, definitely expect this guy to be a Mr. Olympia champion because, oh my God, I think, honestly, he has my favorite physique in the open. If I could have one guy's physique, I actually think it would be Martin Fitzwater. He, at this show, bro looked freaking amazing. So definitely this guy's on my bingo card for next Olympia if he can bring it. I know he's had some issues with conditioning and peaking, especially like last year at like the previous Prague and Pittsburgh, but hopefully he can sort that out and bring an incredible package to this year's Olympia and hopefully challenge for the title. But that's the video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Did you have Martin winning or did you have Samson winning? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.